Here we are close to the end with Amazing Spider-Man Torn, issue number 4. And I'm really starting to feel that Torn title in this issue. And like I said, we're finally at the end, or we're getting close to it, and Jonah Jameson makes an appearance in this. I couldn't believe that he showed up. And also, I like Peter's relationship with his teacher, because his teacher's kind of hard on him still, even though his teacher heavily implied that he knows that Peter's Spider-Man. And something I noticed on my reread is that Peter is straight up lying to his teacher because he says he doesn't have enough time for his homework because there's a lot going on and his job at the Daily Bugle is taking up a lot of his time. But over here, Jonah is asking Peter why he left the Bugle. So Peter's just straight up lying to his teacher about having a job, which I think is pretty funny. And we learn more about this kind of dimension that Evangeline is in and what they're after. And it's implied that someone trapped whoever it is, that they trapped them here in this world. Oh, this is some good advertisement, actually. A lot of people complained, but I didn't know this was coming out. I'm going to try to get that. So as Peter is walking away, planning to study, we get some good paneling and some good humor here. I really like the characterization of Spider-Man in this. Because here we see Evangeline sitting here. And Spider-Man's trying to get her attention. And he's all, "It's me, your mortal enemy, Spider-Man." And then he just pokes her with a stick. And he just kind of keeps poking her. He pokes her like a few times. And then he comes in. And he says, "Hey, you doing okay?" And she says, "Long story, you got a minute?" "Sure." And this is what I really like about Spider-Man's character in this story gets right, is how he's sitting here and listening out to the character. And I really like this conversation right here where they're talking, where she says, "I'm not a good person. Yep, I'm a terrible person. 2 for 2. I've killed people. Nothing to say. It's not funny anymore." I really like it that this Spider-Man, even though he's funny and he has quips, he definitely draws a line in his humor. And he did that earlier in the series. I think it was in issue 1 where he stopped joking and just put down the villains. Or not the villains, they're just some thugs. But I really liked that. And I like this characterization of Spider-Man. I really like how this writer handles it. I kind of want to get more Spider-Man stories from him. But this is the interesting part. And this is where I said I feel the torn aspect of it. Because not only is Peter being torn between his school and his hero responsibility and his personal relationships, Harry is also being torn due to his father trying to control him. And his father is openly admitting that this is exactly what he's doing here. And they're arguing about how Harry sees that his father's taking control, but his father thinks that Harry's friends aren't good for him. And he thinks it's weird that they all date each other, which is kind of funny to bring up. But I get it, because he is Harry's father. But Harry tells his Osborn that he knows some secrets, and then Osborn just ends up saying that he'll make him regret this for the rest of his life. And then Harry leaves. Norman looks down, and Gwen is looking up. But this feels like there's set up for an eventual Green Goblin going to happen. But this series is only 5 issues, so that won't happen. But man, I really like this setup. I really want the series to continue, but I don't know if it will or not. I don't think so after these 5 issues are up. But Peter once again goes back to his professor to help with the book, as he reveals that this book is just in another dimension. It just looks like a book in our universe because ours is a 3-dimensional, while this is something beyond that. But whoever's in this book is able to control Evangeline from it. So they take over Evangeline and then they begin attacking. And then they begin... And I actually like this paneling right here where Peter throws the book. I like how it looks. Then I like how the knives kind of just pop out. I really like it. But also the book completes and it's free. Now, I don't, like I said, I don't show the last pages unless I feel like I have to for the review or what I'm talking about. But I want it noted that this book, this activation happened in the classroom on campus. So this final battle is happening at Peter's uh, campus in front of his teacher. His teacher's still right there. See, he's not too far away from the explosion. So I'm really excited to see how this story wraps up. Like I said, I'm feeling the title torn. I just had to talk about this because, like I said, I always have to mention the negatives when I see them. I read this story twice, or this issue twice, and twice I read this panel from here to here, here, and then there. And the first time is when I realized like this actually continues. This is actually one continued shot right here. This is supposed to be one panel. And that's supposed to be your indicator that you're supposed to go this way when you're reading. But because of the break right here, it doesn't go on. It doesn't really show that it's supposed to keep going. Oh man, I think my sorry, it got a little fuzzy there. I had to fix it. But yeah, like I said, it's not easy to tell. So it's easy to make this mistake, and I made it twice when I read it, even though I was aware of it and it happened again. So that's kind of that's how I know it's not me, it's the paneling layout. And I hate to say that because I've been loving this series, but yeah, this paneling layout isn't the strongest. And it's just mostly because right here it's not, like I said, it doesn't really, it's because of the break happens too early. And it was hard to tell the first time. And the way that the dialogue's all kind of mushed up, you don't really, your eye doesn't really go to here. Your eye immediately goes from this to this. So that's why it's easy to get tripped up here. But other than that, I really like this issue. I'm really looking forward to how the story ends, and the fact that the final battle is kind of going to look like this on his campus, which is why I kind of like the cover. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. In the final issue, that's when I'll rate the entire series. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.